In Movies and Money, going to a theater to see a film on the big screen edged closer to getting back to normal in 2022, but still has a way to go. Let's bring in our film critic, Erik Childress, to see how those numbers are shaping up. Hello to you, Erik.
Hi, Angie.
Avatar: The Way of Water generated $63.4 million at the box office over the holiday weekend and continues to dominate in that #1 spot. But here's a sneak peek at the film that takes on Avatar this weekend. It is a horror film.
Ever since I was little, I dreamed of this perfect toy that would protect a kid from ever feeling lonely or sad. This is M3GAN.
Hi, M3GAN. I'm Katie. It's nice to meet you, Katie. Do you want to hang out? Okay.
What are your thoughts, Erik?
It could still be a long shot, but there is a killer robot doll movie named M3GAN opening that has been drawing a lot of interest from the horror community, who we have learned not to be taken for granted. Last year, the new Scream film opened to $30 million over the Martin Luther King holiday. Rogue One, back in 2016, made $22 million on its third weekend. If Avatar keeps its pace, it may end up between $25 and $30 million, maybe a little less if the horror crowd shows up to the PG-13 M3GAN this weekend.
Avatar has already earned that staggering $1.38 billion. Does this film, Erik, have the ability to get to $2 billion?
Certainly, Angie, and it was internationally where Avatar was ultimately going to succeed or fail, even if it managed to match the domestic total of the original, which is still a real long shot. But overseas, it has become just the 11th film in history to gross over $1 billion outside North America, and the second film to do it since the pandemic began. Last year's Spider-Man No Way Home did it right around this time, as that film came up just short of grossing $2 billion globally. Now, you may remember that that number is the goal James Cameron himself said that The Way of Water needs in order to turn a profit. Right now, the film has passed $1.4 billion. If the film clears another $400 to $450 million internationally, that should be enough for the film to reach that goal and become just the 6th film in history to achieve that, alongside Star Wars: The Force Awakens, the last 2 Avengers films, as well as Titanic and the original Avatar, reinforcing everyone's favorite box office take right now: don't bet against James Cameron.
What are some of the other films that became profitable with those box office numbers compared to the budget number?
Well, of all the comic book entities that come out in 2022, the most profitable comparable to its budget was Marvel's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. The film grossed over $955 million on a $200 million budget. Both Black Panther: Wakanda Forever and Thor: Love and Thunder both turned more minor profits for the studio, but profits indeed, but nothing compared to Doctor Strange. Next up on the list was Jurassic World Dominion, with the original Jurassic Park cast returning. It got itself just over $1 billion, which was more than $300 million less than the last effort, and over $670 million less than the first in this new trilogy. But on a $185 million budget, that was still good enough to be one of the most profitable films of the year. Now, Universal also had huge success with Minions: The Rise of Gru, which came up just short of $1 billion with $939 million. But with just an $85 million budget, the film that was delayed 2 years by the pandemic was only eclipsed in 2022 by the other film delayed by those same 2 years, and that was Top Gun: Maverick. Truly the box office success story of the year. It was Tom Cruise's first billion-dollar movie in a 5-decade career, grossing $718 million domestically, the 5th highest of all time, and a total of $1.48 billion on a $170 million budget. The film's worldwide leading total of 2022 will shortly be eclipsed by Avatar, but when all is said and done, it could still maintain its status as the most profitable film of last year.
Thank you so much, Erik.
Thank you, Angie.
Go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.